Sadza eaters, slay queens and bingers, socialites, papalites, vasnamalites, varkudya rice, nevasnama rights. Welcome to the special report. The Sengezo Chabangu faction of the CCC is in bed with ZANU PF for a possible extension of the parliament and presidential term from 2028 to 2030. Of course, for guys like Sengezo Chabangu, it makes sense because they know they are unelectable. The irony though is, they recall democratically elected MPs only to impose their own names. Sengezo Chabangu is now a senator in the Parliament of Zimbabwe. He is now gladly aiding the 2013 Ndendi Chipo campaign. So, ED really wants to be around in 2030, doesn't he? I mean, it's not easy giving up power after just 10 years, especially if the person you took power from was in office for 37 years. In fact, Robert Mugabe officially became president of ZANU in 1977. So that means Mugabe was president of ZANU for 40 years, 4 decades. And you expect ED to relinquish power after just 10 years? That's a difficult proposition for a man who has spent his entire adult life at the apex of Zimbabwean politics. You see, Robert Mugabe set 2 very dangerous precedents. Number 1, using the army to take power. Number 2, staying for too long in power to the point of being removed by the said army. You see, ZANU PF was formed on the 8th of August 1963 at Enosinkala's house in Highfields. That means ZANU PF is now 60 years old. Irukuto Shandira Rechi 61 ufunge. But of course, there are those in the comment section who will say, Tafi, why are you saying ZANU PF was formed in 1963? You are confusing ZANU with ZANU PF. I am not confusing ZANU with ZANU PF. I know the difference very well. But I find that those who are quick to raise such objections are usually the ones who think that ZANU became ZANU PF in 1987 after the Unity Accord. That is not factual. ZANU PF was already called ZANU PF before the Unity Accord. In fact, they participated in the 1980 elections as ZANU PF, not ZANU. Even ZAPU participated in the 1980 elections as PF ZAPU. If you want to learn more about this, you can watch the Gukuraundi series, which I'm currently running on this channel. And as I always say, that Gukuraundi series is not about propping up ZAPU or denigrating and castigating ZANU PF. No, it's just a comprehensive truth-telling exercise, telling the Zimbabwean history the way it should be told. Anyway, as I was saying, Mbuyane Anda's party is now 60 years old, and in those 60 years, it has never had a smooth succession plan. There has never been a smooth transfer of power in ZANU PF. In fact, there has only been 2 leadership changes in ZANU PF, and the military was involved in both of them. The first time was in 1975, when the military got rid of Ndabaningi Stole. The second time was in 2017, when the military got rid of Robert Mugabe. However, the appointment of General Chiwenga as vice president changed ZANU PF politics forever. Because for the first time in history, the ZANU PF presidium now has a former army commander. The 2 generals before General Chiwenga never made it to the ZANU PF presidium. These are General Mujuru and General Zinavashi. Of course, General Mujuru influenced the rise of his wife, Joyce Mujuru, in ZANU PF. But the point is, both generals never made it to the presidium. But General Chiwenga literally walked from the barracks straight into government to become VP. One might say that was a masterstroke by ED, because keeping Chiwenga as CDF was just never going to work. It would be equivalent to having 2 presidents in one country. But it's very clear to me that initially, ED and Chiwenga had some sort of arrangement regarding the succession plan. There is no way Chiwenga would have taken the reins of power from Robert Mugabe only to give them to Mnangagwa so that he can rule forever. Do you honestly think that Chiwenga doesn't know that the longer ED stays in power, the more difficult it will be to remove him, just like Mugabe? The longer ED stays, the more entrenched his rulership will become. In 2018, I did a parody of Winky D's song, Mugaden. That parody was a mock conversation of ED and Chiwenga. And in that parody, Chiwenga says to ED, Bobo paka garai papo uchapa garai papo. To which ED replies and says, Ndongo manya 2 terms, do vandaku kandira. And Chiwenga responds, Kana wa garai papo, neniwe ndozopa garai papo. Ngati ite sa Napoleon na Hitler, mu government. There is no way Chiwenga would have gone through all that Operation Restore Legacy stuff only to become a forever associate of King ED. It's safe to say that there was some sort of a gentleman's agreement for ED to hand over power to Chiwenga at some point. That's the reason why Chiwenga became the first vice president. As you all know, Zimbabwe has 2 vice presidents. And according to our constitution, if anything happens to the president, to the extent that he can no longer perform his function as president, the first vice president takes over. And guess who is the first vice president? Chiwenga, not Mohadi. Chiwenga. So, it can be said in a way that Chiwenga is a president in waiting. The question is, how long is ED going to keep Chiwenga waiting? And is Chiwenga willing to wait longer than he budgeted for? You see, Chiwenga has been involved in all the leadership changes of ZANU PF. He was part of the Zanla commanders who got rid of Ndabaningi Stole through the Mgagao Declaration of 1975. Yes, Dominic Chinenge, as he was known during the liberation struggle, signed the Mgagao Declaration to get rid of the first president of ZANU, Ndabaningi Stole, who had been leader of that party since its formation in 1963. Chiwenga was again involved in the removal of the second president of ZANU, Robert Mugabe, in 2017. Well, this time around, he was not only involved, he was literally the one who removed Mugabe. Plus, this time around, he didn't use a pen. He used guns and tankers and an entire military. In 1975, he used a pen to sign away the leadership of Sithole. But in 2017, he used guns to halt government business, arrested government ministers, immobilized the ZANU, put Robert Mugabe under house arrest, took over control of ZANU PF, fired Mugabe from ZANU, expelled Grace Mugabe and the G40 from ZANU PF, and readmitted Mnangagwa into ZANU PF as president. And by the way, he did all of this in 3 days. Yes, 3 days. Maybe let me refresh your memory a little bit. You see, ED was fired from government on the 6th of November 2017. He was expelled from ZANU PF on the 8th of November 2017. Keep in mind that all the 10 provinces, including the Youth League and the Women's League, unanimously endorsed his expulsion. So ED got expelled. But 11 days later, after the coup, the same structures that expelled ED readmitted him into ZANU PF as their president. The question is, what happened in 11 days? The army happened. The gun happened. Chiwenga happened. I have always said that there are 2 things in ZANU PF that determine who becomes leader. Those 2 things are the gun and money. It's not about how popular you are. Popularity means nothing in ZANU PF. Ray Kaukonde was popular in ZANU PF, but where is he today? It's like he never existed. Amai Mujuru was popular in ZANU PF, but where is she today? It's like she never existed. Before Mai Mujuru was fired, She had the support of almost all the provinces, but still, she got fired along with all the provincial chairmen who supported her faction. The structures of ZANU PF are useless in terms of decision making. They are only useful for campaigning. Decisions in ZANU PF are made by a very few people. The structures of ZANU simply get told what to do. Let me take you to this article by the Herald on the 6th of November 2017, the day ED got fired. It says, the ZANU PF leadership in various provinces yesterday joined calls for the elevation of the First Lady Amai Dr. Grace Mugabe to be one of the party's 2 vice presidents. The provinces also recommended the expulsion of Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa and several party members for undermining President Mugabe's authority. This is an article by the Herald in November 2017. So you see, on the 6th of November, the ZANU PF structures were behind Grace Mugabe and were even calling for her to replace ED as vice president. 2 days later, these structures expelled ED through the Politburo. 11 days later, the same structures expelled Grace Mugabe and brought back Mnangagwa, who they had expelled 11 days before. It's very clear. ZANU PF structures don't make decisions. They get told what to do by those who control the money and the gun. ZANU PF structures are only loyal to the highest bidder, or rather, highest bidder. All these people that you see running around saying 2030 vamnangagwa ngo achipo, 2030 vamnangagwa ngo achipo. These are just professionally trained paid actors like WWE superstars. Ndana Rey Mysterio ava. Should I remind them of Kudzanai Chipanga? Manzi chiwenga ninga chingoti keep looking. You can't see me. But of course, ED recently came out and dispelled rumors that he wants a 3rd term. Maybe ED finally gets it. Maybe he finally realizes that he has been flirting with disaster, seducing danger, sending an invitation card to problems. But then again, his middle name is translated problem. So maybe he is sending an invitation card to himself. We have already seen the extent to which factional politics in ZANU PF can go. On the 23rd of June in 2018, ED survived an assassination attempt at a rally in Bulawayo. So, if there is anything you should pray for, it's a peaceful transition in this factional battle. This is not a G40 versus Lacoste type of war. No. This is bigger, the stakes are higher. The difference is that Mugabe was not expecting a coup. He didn't see it coming despite being warned several times. He just didn't believe that his boys would do that to him. This is what he meant when he said, I will not vote for those who have caused me to be in this state. Baba Bona did not see it coming. However, ED is expecting it. That's why you see all the restructuring happening in the military. Generals being moved around, others being retired and whatnot. He has even overseen the gradual rise of his son within the ZNA. ED knows too well that one needs a proper military background to entertain any real hopes of occupying number 1 Chancellor Avenue. Is ED doing a Museveni with his son? Well, whatever the case may be, pray that there is a peaceful transition, because when elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. I always say that the military is the only institution in Zimbabwe that can realistically stop ED. But remember, ED is expecting it. Haisi nyore kubvutira munhu akagadzirira. That means whatever move Chiwenga makes, it has to be a master stroke. He can't afford to make a mistake. and he has to be very discreet about it too. Plus, he has been away from the military for 6 years now. How much military influence has he lost? Because General Philip Valerius Wanda has risen to become his own man. Only a few months ago, ED actually wanted to appoint General Swanda into the ZANU PF Politburo ex officio. That tells you that General Swanda is now his own man, just like General Chiwenga became his own man after the retirement of General Zinavashe. Just like General Zinavashe became his own man after the retirement of General Mujuru. Just like General Mujuru became his own man after the death of General Josiah Magamatongogar. It's inevitable for army generals to lose their military influence over time. It's the reason why General Mujuru died like a mere commoner. Again, I ask the question, how much military influence has General Chiwenga lost since he became VP? Because the military is his only capital, so if he loses it, he may as well kiss his political ambitions goodbye. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoy the content, please like and share.